Hey Bestie, let's head on over to Dollar Tree and pick up some Dollar Tree glass to do some awesome DIY hacks. There is such a selection there. Let's get started. This Dollar Tree glass hack, we are going to take this beautiful piece of glass. It's not exactly like a drinking glass, it's kind of like a little vase. And then I've got this nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. Now what I'm going to do is figure out how long of a piece I need to start putting them on the side going vertically. So once I have one, then I'm going to try to map out about how many I think I'm going to need to go around. I'm going to create, I don't know, kind of like a basket feel. So I'm just going to cut pieces based on the first one that I cut until I get as many as I need. Now, I do end up adding a few more than what you see here because I realized that I wanted more. So what I did was I started by hot gluing it on one side, and then I did the exact opposite side, and then I did the two that would be like equal distance the other direction. And then I started adding the pieces in between. That way you know you're going to get them pretty much the right distance between one another. Now I'm going to take the nautical rope and I'm just going to hot glue on each piece of the rope that's already on there and just put it all the way around the very bottom to give it a finished look. Once I get to the end, I'll just cut that off and glue down the very last piece there. This is so easy. Next, I'm going to do a piece around the center. I'm just going to measure it and then cut the piece off, and I'm going to hot glue it to each of those pieces that are already there. That's a great place to attach them. And then I'm just going to do one at the very top, just like I've done the other two. Now once I get to the end, I realize I think I want one more layer at the top. So I am going to cut another piece of rope, wrap it around, and hot glue it to the very top. You'll see here in a second, it just didn't feel quite finished to me. I just thought it needed one more layer. Now I'm going to take these little stones from the Dollar Tree. You can use anything you want. You could use rocks or other marbles. And then I've got a candle I'm just going to use for an example here to show you. And then I've got this little garland with these really cute little gold pine cones. I'm going to add 3 of them to the front. Then I'm going to get some little greenery picks and just kind of stick them in there. So now I'm just hot gluing the little pieces of greenery in there. And literally, that's it. This was super easy. You could decorate this one any way you want. I think just adding that rope really, really made this much more high-end, and I love it. Let me know what you think. I have this cute little glass container, and then I've got these little bump kind of stickers. I always call them like bump up stickers. And then I've got my Rust-Oleum chalked linen white spray paint. I'm going to cut off individual pieces of these little bump stickers. I'm going to get rid of the little adhesive that comes off the end. I want to keep it on the back only, but not sticking out the sides. And I'm going to start placing them on this glass. I'm going to end up covering the whole thing in kind of like a little bit of a pattern where they're staggered every other row you'll see here shortly. And I'm just going to continue doing that until I get the whole thing covered. It does take some time. Just put on some music or video or listen to an audiobook. I've been doing that lately. If you have any good book recommendations, let me know. Now that I've got Audible, I'm excited to listen to more books. So there I am, just more than halfway done. I wanted to give you an idea, and I'm going to finish that bottom part. So there it is, all finished, and it actually looks really cool just like this. But I do want to cover the whole thing in the white paint. So I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to spray paint it. I'm going to do many light coats. Now it was pretty cold outside, so it actually dried a little textured. So it looks kind of cool though. It wasn't what I planned, but I actually like it. Now I'm going to use my Minwax polyacrylic, and I'm just going to cover the whole thing very generously because I do want to seal everything in, because you know chalk paint could scratch, and with this seal on it that should help keep it nice and secure on there. I've got some lamb's ear. I'm just going to place it in, and as I was working with this, it just didn't feel like quite enough, so I went and found another little piece and added it. And I feel like that just was enough. It just made it look nice and full. You could change this out for any time of the year. And I think because it's white, it's just neutral. It'll fit in with any decor, any time of year. And I absolutely love it. Let me know what you think. Glass hack ever. I've got this really cool kind of prismic little glass, and I love that prismic look to it. I'm going to take my hot glue, and literally this is so easy, and I'm just going to start going side to side and just leaving hot glue on the glass. So I'm just going to carefully make sure that I don't get lumpy too much, but just kind of lightly go back and forth. I can always go over it again if it's not enough, and just continue doing this around the whole thing. You see what I'm doing there? And there are some gaps, and I will go back and fill those. I just wanted to make sure that I was getting it on there the way that I wanted. And then I'm just going to keep going over and over, and I'll turn it around as I go. And then I can, like I said, go back and fill in as I need to. You can just watch what I'm doing here. Now you want to make sure you have plenty of glue. You don't really want to have to stop if you can help it. So I used a long glue stick on this one. That way I could just keep going the whole time. I'm going to do the rest of it now off camera. There it is. Look how cool that looks. I was going to paint it with something like gold or silver. And then I looked, because it has that prismic effect, I thought, no, don't do that. Just leave it as it is. So I added some little blue rocks because that's what I had on hand. You could use anything you want in there. And then I've got a cute little battery operated candle that literally kind of flickers. And so it looks like it's a real candle. And I just stuck it in there, and that was it. I mean, there's so many different things you could do with this. Once you've got your little, I'm calling it a little mini vase now, you could do whatever you wanted with it. I just think it turned out beautiful, and it was so easy. You've got to try this. I've got this square-shaped container. The edges are kind of rounded. And then I've got my maize, moss, and ocean chalk paint by Waverly. And then I've got this little plastic dish that I got at the Dollar Tree also, and a dish drainer thing for a sink. I saw somebody do this on Pinterest, so I thought I'd try it. It's like a paint pour. So I'm going to pour the ocean color first, and there you can see it dripping. Now, the reason I use that drain thing is because of the holes in it. I thought it was going to make the design look really cool. Well, the chalk paint's a little thick. I should have watered it down first, so if you do decide to do this, use acrylic paint that's thinner or watered down chalk paint. And now I'm going to add the other two colors, and I'll just keep showing you what it looks like from the side view as well. Now it's still really cool. It just didn't give quite that, interesting look I was hoping would happen with those holes in that drainer thing. At least now I got to try this. I've always wanted to do a paint pour type of a thing. I'm going to use my heat tool from Amazon and try pushing the paint around and see if that helps a little bit. And it does, just a little bit. It's just that the paint is definitely too thick. It's still looking pretty cool, I have to say. I do like the way it looks. Next, I'm going to take my little water mister and spray water on it and see if that will kind of thin it out and make it drip a little bit more. And then I'm going to add some more of that yellow paint around the sides, just because I felt like it was getting too dark and I did want all the colors. And then I'll add some of the green moss color around the other sides. This is like an experiment. I'm just trying it out. Now I'm going to take off that dish drainer thing. Now it does look pretty cool on the bottom, but no one's going to see that. So I just want you to get a look at what the sides are looking like. It's very cool. Now I let it dry completely, and you can see that. And then I'm going to sand around the top. Because I had it sitting down inside of a container instead of like floating, I don't like the way the top looked. I sprayed it with a clear glaze, and so I thought, you know what, I need to cover that. So I'm going to take this metal ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue it all the way around the very top, and that covers the part that didn't look so great. And I think that really did the trick. Now I will say, I think this came out really cute in the end. Just not what I was imagining, but I don't hate it by any means. You'll have to let me know what you think. I would love to try this again with something with maybe bigger holes or thinner paint. I think that would make such a difference. So I decided to put a little bit of floral foam in there and then add some kind of wintry pics and just make a cute little arrangement with that. Now you could take these out and change them for spring or any other season. That's why I just used the floral foam, no glue, and I think it looks adorable. You can put it up anywhere in your home, and I just think this is going to be such a nice, versatile piece. Let me know what you think, and have you ever tried paint pouring? This glass DIY craft, I've got a little jar that had some jelly in it. I've got a scarf from Dollar Tree and some fabric scraps that I just have in my stash. Now I took off the sticker by soaking it in water and then scraping it off. That seems to be the easiest. I didn't need to get the sticky stuff off because I'm going to be covering it anyway. So I'm going to take the scrap fabric and make a little cut because I want it to be thinner. And I'm just going to rip it. I love the ripped edges. So I'll do that with all those pieces. Then I will take the Dollar Tree scarf, and it had kind of fall colors, so that's why I used it. And I'm just going to measure how much I need to cover the whole jar, and I'm going to cut that. And then I'll also cut off the excess along the bottom. Now these scarves are really thin, so this is going to work so well for this project. I'm going to make a little candle holder. I'm going to take some Mod Podge, and I'm just going to put it like a row of Mod Podge, if you will, on the jar and start attaching the scarf. It's such thin fabric that you just kind of press it down, and then once I get it all on, I'm going to put Mod Podge all over the top of it, and those little pieces on the bottom, I'm going to trim it down even further, and then I will use the Mod Podge to kind of press it down to the bottom. I'm not too worried about the edges there. I just want to make them lay down as much as possible. Now that's how it looks once that is Mod Podged onto the glass. Next I'm going to take, there's two different colors of that scrap fabric. I'm going to put the darker one up at the way top, and I cut a piece that fit around the jar. I'm just going to tie a double knot and leave it there, just like that. And then I'll take the lighter one and put it just below it. And then I'll go to the bottom and put the darkest one at the very bottom and the one that's lighter just above it. And you will see what that looks like here in just a moment. This is such an easy craft. Oh my gosh. And you could just do it with stuff you have around the house too, which is great. It's almost a trash to treasure, not quite. Once I have them all on there, I don't want it covering up that scarf. So I'm going to slide down from the lighter color and then up from the lighter color that I have at the top. And I'm just going to create this little like border along the bottom and the top of the jar. Next, I'm going to trim off those little tails on the knots. They don't need to be quite that long. I just wanted to have a little bit of a rag kind of look with those edges being, roughed up from ripping it. So there it is. And literally, I'll just add a candle and that's it. It is so cute. Super easy. You could do this for any time of the year. This one's kind of fall-like, and I hope you like it. Take the salt and pepper shaker set that I got at Family Dollar for $1. And then I've got some twine. I've got my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint. And then I have my maize and pumpkin chalk paint from Waverly. I'm going to take off the lids to the salt and pepper shaker. We won't need them for this. And I'm going to paint kind of a third of the little bottom part of the pepper salt shaker with the maize. And I'll do several coats of that so it looks nice. Then I'll take the pumpkin and I'll do like a middle layer. If you can't tell, I'm making these look like little candy corns. And I just think this is so cute. And again, super, super easy. It does take several coats to get it to the way I like it. Plus, sometimes I get a little too heavy-handed and then I need to cover up the original color just to make them look a little more even. And then I'll take that chalk paint, the white, and I'll just do from just above the orange all the way up to the very top of the little salt and pepper shaker. If you wanted crisp lines, you could just tape it off. I decided I kind of like the idea of it kind of blending upwards. Now I'm going to take some Mod Podge and I'm going to cover the whole thing because I don't want it to peel. Paint on glass can peel very easily, so that's why I did that. I'm going to take some twine and just cut enough to make a little bow around the top of each. So easy. And that's all I'm going to do is literally tie a little shoestring bow around each of the tops. I do add a little dab of hot glue in the back so the string doesn't move around while I'm trying to tie it. Sometimes with these little things, it's so hard to keep them in place, so that's why I like to add just that teeny tiny bit of the hot glue. I think this would be so cute. You could actually make these for different seasons too. I have made a spring one before with salt and pepper shakers, and now this is a fall. So who knows, eventually maybe I'll make one for all of the seasons. Actually, I've done a snowman. I forgot about that. So yeah, I have done some other ones.
Gonna lay here on the grass.
And then I'm going to put a little teeny dot of hot glue just to make the bow lay exactly how I want it. I'm not the best bow maker, so I need to give myself any help I can get. And then I'm going to trim the little tails on the bow because they were just a little too long. So there we go. And now I'm going to take some fall greenery, and I'm just going to clip off a couple of, well, a leaf on it, and then some of the little, I guess they're like berries, just whatever it is. Just want to add a little bit of, greenery to this, but keeping with the fall theme. I love how these turned out. They're so cute. I could see this on a tier tray, on a shelf, on a riser, wherever you want. I just think they're adorable and could not be easier, honestly. I do think you can definitely do this. Candle holder from the Dollar Tree. You could put a tall candle in the top, or on the bottom you could put a wider candle. I'm not going to use it that way. I'm going to use the twine and the pumpkin and maize Waverly chalk paint. I'm going to paint the pumpkin all the way around this. When you hold it the way I'm holding it, it looks like a pumpkin. That's what made me want to do this. And then I also put some of that pumpkin across that top portion of the round little candle holder. It's so cute, but I did decide to take the maize and just kind of dry brush it on there to give it a little more like texture and dimension. I think that just adds a lot when you start doing that. It just gives it's not so flat looking. I think you know what I mean. I love this community. I just wanted to tell you guys how much I love the comments. I love how you talk with each other. Please feel free, reach out. This is such a wonderful community. I mean, we're just crafting besties, and I just think we should all be talking to each other. We all have so much in common. So thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. I am going to take this twine and I'm going to start wrapping it around that little top portion. It's the perfect stem, right? It's almost like this was made to be a pumpkin, even though it wasn't. So I'm just going to keep gluing it all the way around till I get to the very top, and then I'll even put some around that very rim of the top. I also wanted to tell you, I love when you guys share tips and ideas. Oh, I love it so much, because that means that you are inspired. It means you have something that we could all learn from. So be sure to read the other comments. You'll learn so much from people. It's amazing. I have learned so much from you wonderful besties of mine. So thank you for that so much.
In this moment, gonna lay here on the grass.
Now, once it's all done and glued on there, I'm going to take my scissors and just cut off that last little piece that's hanging there. And so, yeah, you would think this is done, but I've got a couple of leaves that I thought were just perfect for this. I took them off this fall pick, and it just, because it's just a little glass pumpkin, I felt like it needed it. It just needed something extra. So cute. I know the projects are pretty like small in size in this particular video, but you know what? It's kind of nice to have some small things. I know we don't have a lot of space. So if you're like me and you live in a smaller place, I can't just make big things all the time because I have nowhere to put them. So having these smaller ones, it's great for the tiered trays and the risers and the shelves, or just little accents here and there in the kitchen or wherever. So I hope that helps some of you too that are dealing with smaller spaces. And so I don't make a lot of big signs because I have nowhere to put them. Anyway, I hope you like it. Jar canister that I got from IKEA. It was a set of, I think, 3 or 4 cutest little canisters, and they were really good price. I can't remember, but it was good. I have some yarn from the Dollar Tree in that orange, and then some burlap from the Dollar Tree. This is so easy. I'm going to start with some hot glue, and I am literally going to start wrapping that yarn all the way around. You definitely need to keep using glue every so often because it's a curved little jar and it wants to like bunch up, and it did even with me using glue. So just keep that in mind. I didn't mind if it looked a little messy, and at the end I just went all the way around in different places to fill in any gaps, so it's not like a perfect wrap, if you will, I am totally fine with that. See how you can just see some of the wrap is all over, but I was good with that. I'm going to take some twine, and I'm just going to make kind of like where those little indents would be on a pumpkin. I'm just going to glue that twine right on there, kind of in a curve, and I'll do the same thing the other side, and I'll do a couple of those until I think it looks more like a pumpkin. I'll do that on the front and on the back. One side definitely looked better than the other because of the glue. It's so hard with hot glue not to get little glue clumps in the yarn. So I guess fabric tack glue might have been a better choice for this, but I just already had the glue gun out and I didn't even think about it. Do whatever you like to do though. And so I'm just gonna finish that off, and I've got that burlap, and I'm gonna start hot gluing the burlap all the way around that edge of the top of the jar. And we're going to make the stem with this. So it's going to look too big at first, but you'll see what I'm going to do. So once I have it all glued on there, I will cut off the excess, and I'm just going to kind of twist and turn it so I can make it as tight as possible. And then I will hot glue some of it down before I cut it so it doesn't unravel. And then I'll bend it inside of itself and just attach it even more with the glue. So it's just kind of playing with it, getting it the way you like. Once I have it more or less the way I like, I'm going to take a little piece of twine and just tie around kind of the top part of this little stem, because that makes it even narrower, and I just think that makes it look more like a little pumpkin stem. I mean, it's pretty thick, but you know what, it was just for fun. And again, this could go on a tier tray, riser, shelf, wherever you want. It's just adorable.
Gonna stay in this moment, gonna lay here on the grass.
Now I felt like this one needed some leaves on it because it's just something about it. So I got a couple leaves off of a pick that I had left over, and I only used one leaf on this one, and I just hot glued it down, and I think this one is adorable. I love it. It's so cute, and it's just so fall looking. So I hope you like it, and I hope you'll consider making something like this. Jars. So this one was Relish, and I've got these really cool kind of fashion rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. I took it outside and just sprayed it with a coat of white paint. I didn't do that on camera, it just gets messy. So now I'm going to look at these transfers and see how might I want to cut them out so that they'll fit on this jar. I'm going to use this jar to store makeup brushes. I don't know about you guys, I don't even wear makeup like twice a week maybe, but I still have way too many makeup brushes, and I just need a place to put them. And so I'm just kind of cutting it out and, sizing it up. And you can always put them back on afterwards if you find a good spot for them. But it's easier to put that one big piece on, initially. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's going to fit really nice. I'm going to remove the backing, and I'm just going to set it down very carefully, because once it sticks, it sticks. There's no turning back. I'm going to rub it on, and then I'm going to get a little wooden stick that I have, and I'm going to start scraping on the back there, rubbing it. You can use a popsicle stick, a credit card, whatever you want. I just have this stick that came with another rub-on transfer that I had ordered online. Of course, this one is from the Dollar Tree. And you got to go over every little section. And then when you're ready to take it off, you'll just carefully start pulling on the edge. And if you see that it didn't stick, lay it right back down. You'll see me do that a couple times here, and just rub over it again. Take your time. It just looks so cool when it's all done. It makes it look like a really, really high-end professional kind of jar. Plus, I love the white and the black. It just has a super, super nice look to it. Didn't that go on nicely? And then I just rub over it carefully to make sure there's no edges sticking up. And then I'm going to take the other half of that way they'll be different on both sides. And again, I'm just going to look and see what I want to put on there, if I need to cut anything off. And this one just kind of worked out, so I'm going to lay it right on there. It's hard with a jar, it wants to roll away, but it's not too bad. And then I'll just start rubbing it on. And then I did see a little spot in the upper right there. Actually, when you turn it up right side up, it'll be upper right, and you just kind of can cut that off. It was just a little too high, so I carefully just lifted it up. I didn't want to scratch the paint, and I made a bunch of little cuts until I got rid of that little teeny piece there. So let me know if any of you collect like makeup or skincare things. I don't know why I do, but I have so many things. When I see them, I want them. let me know. I don't even hardly wear makeup. It's crazy what we do just for beauty, right? Didn't that come out cute? I absolutely love how this looked. So here I've added my makeup brushes. These are some new ones, of course. I haven't even used them yet. Doesn't that look so nice? That would look so cute in my bedroom. This was from IKEA. I love their lingonberry jam. It's my favorite. Anyway, this one, the label's a little tough. So I used my heat gun from Amazon on this one. And then later I realized it would have been better to soak it in water and then use my little Cricut scraper that I'm doing now. It actually goes faster than the heat tool. So there's a little tip for you. Soak your jar in like soapy water and it'll help come off much, much easier. I did get it off, and then I'm going to use a little bit of Goo Gone, and I'm going to rub off any adhesive that was left behind. This is a nice size jar, and I end up with quite a few of these. Like I said, it's the one jam that I really like. I'm not a big jam person. Also back with some alcohol because of the stickiness. I want to make sure, and the greasiness of the Goo Gone, I want to make sure that's all gone. I have a bunch of skewers from the Dollar Tree. Saw this on Pinterest, and what it is, it's sort of like a zigzaggy design. So the first thing I'm going to do, I figured out how many I need by just putting a string around the jar and then laying it out and then seeing how many skewers fit across it. So that's how I ended up with these skewers. So it'll be individual for your jar. And then I clip them so you see how it goes down like a V, and then the next one will go up and then down. It just zigzag. So what I did is I cut pieces from each of those little segments that I put together that were all those sizes. And I wrapped them up with twine so that I wouldn't lose my pieces. Then I opened one at a time, and I used my square ruler to put them in the right order of size, as you see here. Somehow, when I was putting some of them on, I don't know how I did it, but I got some of them out of order. Whatever, it still came out cute. But if you really want it to be right, you'll just have to be super careful. I thought I was being careful, but apparently not. So I'm going to use some hot glue, and I'm going to start with the first one. And I'm lining them up on the bottom of the jar and then adding the next one, trying to go in the order of the design. And I'm just going to keep doing this with all those little bundles until I get it all the way around the jar. And it's such a cute little way to turn this basic jar into something very decorative. So I'll just let you watch. You can see I'm just going to do the same thing over and over. And there's one complete set. And there I am partway through. If you look closely, you'll see where my design got a little wonky. And there it is. I'll just make sure the good part is facing forward. And then I'm going to take my little nippers. I'm going to clip any pieces that were sticking out too far on the bottom because I want it to sit straight. Then I'm going to take my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint and just kind of heavy dry brush all the way around it. Once that's done, I'm just going to tie a little ribbon around it that I had, and I would put some peonies that I got on Amazon inside, and I think this is gorgeous. I just think it looks so pretty. It's kind of like modern farmhouse kind of boho. What do you think? One of my husband's jellies that he likes, and I did soak this one in the water to get it off much easier. And then I've got this armor etched stuff I ordered on Amazon. It's in my Amazon store if you're interested. It's really cool. I'm going to use the Goo Gone to get rid of any of the leftover adhesive, and then I'll run some alcohol over it too to get rid of the kind of greasiness once I'm done. And there's my jar, nice and clean. I've got this washi tape. I'm pretty sure I got it at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start taping it on, just kind of make, I guess, like geometric designs with it, which is basically lines all over that turn into little kind of triangles in different shapes. You could just do whatever you want with this. I had no plan in mind. I just thought, I just want to create a bunch of little shapes on here, and they didn't have to be the same or even or anything like that. They're definitely not symmetrical. If you want that, just go ahead and plan out your shapes, and then you can do your washi tape too. So whatever you like. So you have to let me know, have you guys been having a lot of rain? I'm not sure what the deal is. Here it is. It's already summer, right? And we've been having so much rain. I am in southern Ohio, and it's just kind of crazy. And it's very green and lush, and I love that. But I just don't know why there's so much rain here. Anyway, let me know what it's like where you are, and if you're enjoying the summer or if you're getting lots of rain like I am. Oh well, I'm sure it'll come and go. So now that I have all the washi tape on, you can see it's just random shapes. I'm going to take my armor etch and I'm going to put a heavy coat in all of the open spaces, and it doesn't matter if it touches the washi tape. We're going to wash it off anyway, but I was being very careful. You don't want to get it on your skin. I probably should be wearing gloves, so I'm just letting you know, if you're concerned at all, definitely wear gloves, and if you want to put a mask on, that makes sense too. I left it on for about 5-10 minutes. I've taken it to the sink, washed it off really well, and now I am pulling off the washi tape. And look at how cool that looks. I mean, that is glass etching without etching anything. So now I'm going to take a little bit of Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm going to take some of this gold and white twine I got at Target a long time ago, and I'm just going to wrap it around a bunch over the threads on the jar, and just to dress it up a little. I'm also going to add some little fairy lights that I got on Amazon, and this turned out beautiful. I absolutely love it. Let me know what you think. I think this would be a nice addition to a shelf, a tier tray, anywhere in your home. I think it would just really add a little bit of character and almost a little glam. Thing to do with an Old Spice container. So I cleaned it out, of course, and I'm going to use my Maze chalk paint by Waverly. First thing, I'm going to use some alcohol just to clean the surface, because it gets smudgy sometimes, and so I had already removed the label on this one. I'm going to go ahead and do it. It ends up being about 3 coats because, when you paint on glass, it doesn't really go on heavy. You can still see the strokes and everything, so I wanted to make sure that it got really nicely covered. And there it is, and I think it looks great. And I did all the way up to the top and a little bit on the bottom as well. Now I've got a jot marker from the Dollar Tree. It's one of those 2-ended ones, so it's got a pointier end on one and a little thicker end on the other. I am looking at a picture on Pinterest. I cannot draw things like this unless I have a picture in front of me. So if you're good at drawing like bees, go for it. Otherwise, get a picture and just copy it or screenshot the one I did, and then you'll be able to, do the same thing. It is like a little cartoon bee, super simple. You can tell I'm not an artist at all. And I'm just going to thicken it up a little bit. Now this marker isn't as dark as I would have liked it to be, so I'm going to go in with a more like heavy duty permanent marker after I get this initial shape on here, and I'm going to start filling things in and making it look even thicker and darker. Be sure you guys talk to each other in the comments. There's some awesome people here. I mean, just the nicest people you'll ever meet. I mean, this is basically just a group of friends, crafting friends. We hang out together, we craft, and you know what? We can share and talk and pray for each other, whatever you want. I just want to let you know that there are just the nicest people here. You are all besties. We're all besties, and I love it. So now I'm filling in some of the little bee elements, and I'm making his stinger a little more pointy. And there's a quicker look of the shape in case you want to screenshot that. Now I'm going to take that heavy duty marker. This one is from Office Depot, as you can see. And I'm just going to go over the whole thing. Now, doesn't that look better? I think that just really made it pop. I'm going to take some white chalk paint, and with a very fine tipped art brush, I'm going to very carefully go in and just paint the wings with the white. And if you notice, I'm painting away from each of the edges every direction, and that really helps keep the paint as much inside the little wings as possible. And just take your time. I think this turned out so cute, and I found this cute little candle holder thing or whatever from the Dollar Tree to stage it with, and you'll have to let me know what you think, because I just think this one is adorable. It's perfect for summer, and I just think it just got all those fun vibes, that we like. I can almost hear the bee buzzing. Can you hear it too? Canister at the Dollar Tree. I love the way it looks. I love the top. I love the pattern in the glass. It's so pretty. I'm not going to use that little puck light. I'm going to use some fairy lights instead. I changed my mind at the last minute. But I do have a piece of like a faux leather word grateful from the Dollar Tree and a little bit of scrap burlap that I cut out to fit around the jar. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hot glue the burlap all the way around the jar. I'll start at one spot and I'll kind of just put it here and there, but I'm first going to fray the top and the bottom because I love that look. This is going to turn into a pretty rustic looking, light up kind of a jar decor. And I think it's so pretty. I think you could use this all year round, but I also think it would be really pretty around Thanksgiving. So, you know, you can use it whenever you want. I'm grateful all year round, so I don't want to wait just for Thanksgiving. I'm sure you feel the same way. So I'm just going to attach that, as I said, and I'm putting very little glue, very, very little glue, because I don't really need a lot for this to stick. If you're enjoying this video, I hope that you will hit the like button. That lets me know that you enjoy this kind of content, but it also lets YouTube know that they should show my videos to more people, and I sure would appreciate that, so thank you. I'm going to take some Beacon Fabric Tack glue. I'm going to put it all around the back of that little grateful sign. And the reason I'm doing it like this is I can control how much comes out. I won't get any glue webs from hot glue. Sometimes this is just the way to go. Or you could use tacky glue too, but it's sort of like a fabric kind of thing. So I decided to use this one. So once I get that all on there, I'm just going to literally lay this across the burlap. And I'm doing this on the opposite side from where the two ends met. That way this is the front and that would be the back. Now I've got these fairy lights that I get on Amazon. I think there's either 8 or 10 in a pack, very reasonably priced. They even come with their own batteries. I mean, this is a very good deal. I always have these in my Amazon store in case you are looking for something like this. So I'm just going to turn it on and put it in there because I want to see what it looks like as I'm putting this together. And I'll put most of it in, but then when I get to put the lid on, I will try to push some of that up into the top of the lid because it's hollow. And I think that would be pretty to see some of the light in there as well. I love that. Isn't that pretty with those lights? It's kind of light there, you can't tell, but I've got some scrap greenery here and I'm just going to cut it up and hot glue it around just below the lid. I thought that it needed just a little something extra, and this to me was the perfect touch. So I hope you guys like this one. I like it too. Another very easy glass Dollar Tree DIY. So much fun to make these. Spring rub-on transfer set from Dollar Tree. 3 little succulent containers and some votive candle glass containers. I believe everything here came from the Dollar Tree. And I just heated up the back to remove the tags, and I'm going to lightly sand all around the outside of my 3 little containers. I'm going to put that Sage Home Decor paint, 2 coats to cover everything but the inside, and then I'm going to add a coat of Mod Podge to seal them. Now I'm going to look at the transfer and kind of measure and see what I want. I'm only going to do it on one side of the little containers. And they're actually going to be one sitting right side up and the other 2 are going to be sitting upside down. You'll see what I mean here. And of course, I'm just going to rub on the transfer carefully. And then as I remove them, I'll make sure that it's adhered. Otherwise, I'll rub a little harder and get the rest of it off. And then kind of rub it into the little container. And I'll do the same thing with all 3 of these. This particular rub-on transfer set is just gorgeous. I love the florals. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I would like to invite you to do so. I would be happy to have you here. So now that I've got all 3 of my containers good to go with the rub-on transfers, I'm going to put 2 of them together so the tops will be glued together, and they're so light I'm just going to use hot glue on these. You could use E6000 if you're concerned though. And they fit together very nicely. And then I'm going to take some very thin twine from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to wrap it around where the seam is where they meet. That way kind of make it look more finished. And I'm going to wrap that around 2 times before I'm done here. Now I'm going to take the single one and I'm just going to wrap around right at the very, well, it's the bottom now, but it would have been the top. And there you go. Aren't they cute? And then I'm going to take some E6000 and hot glue combination so that I can glue those little glass votives right on top. And that is it. Talk about easy. And then I'm going to put some little battery operated little votive candles in there. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. And it would just look really cute on a shelf or on a tier tray, wherever you want. Let me know what you think. 2 items for the price of 1 at Dollar Tree. So I've got the salt and pepper shaker. I've got some really pretty lavender that I got at Pop Shelf. And then I've got some Dollar Tree twine ribbon, some coastal twine from Dollar Tree, a really pretty kind of mauve colored ribbon. And I didn't end up using the blue and white one after all. The first thing I'm going to do is take off the lids to the salt and pepper shakers. We will not need them. Now I'm going to take my kind of twine lace kind of looking ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put it around one of them, kind of like, I don't know, just below the top, and then I'm going to do one more just above the bottom. You'll see in a second. And I just kind of put little dabs of glue here and there so that it won't slide around, and at the end I cut it, and now here I'm doing the second one. I'm doing the exact same thing. This ribbon is so pretty. I just love the combination of that kind of lighter color with the regular jute color. Now that I've got that on there, I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm going to just do one ribbon around this one. I'm just going to be doing it kind of below the top there. I'm just going to attach it the exact same way that I did with the other one. I love this ribbon. It almost like has a velvety feel to the top of it. I think I got it at Walmart. I can't remember. I'm going to take that coastal twine that has the twine color and kind of the off-white, and I'm going to put one strand around the top of that ribbon and one strand around the bottom. And I really like the look that it gave it. I think these are going to be super cute and very rustic. So there they are. And now I'm going to add a twine bow to both of them. I'm going to use that nautical or coastal twine from the Dollar Tree. Just going to put a little dot of hot glue in the back so I can tie my just very simple shoelace bow. And then I will trim the little tails on it on both of them and do the exact same thing. I'm going to put one higher than the other just to make them look slightly different. This could not be easier. Is this even a DIY? I'm not sure. But if you're looking for something super fast and easy to do, just add a little bit of decor. Could look really cute on a tier tray or next to something on a shelf. I just think this is so cute, and I love when things are this easy. You could just do them, you know, in 5 or 10 minutes. So easy. So I'm going to take some of that lavender. I'm just going to snip some little pieces, and I'm going to put them in the one, salt and pepper shaker. And then I have another set of greenery that I got. It was off of a pick from the Target Dollar Spot, and it just thought it looked perfect with that pink ribbon. And I just put that right in there. That's it. We're done. You can't get easier than this. Ready for more inspiration? Here's another video I think you'll really like. If you click on it, I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye!